The following is a paid program, and the views expressed on this show do not represent the views of WJZ-FM, Entercom Communications, its sponsors, or affiliates.
The following is a pre-recorded show. Welcome to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers, certified financial planner professional and founder of Akers Financial Group. Now, helping you win in your retirement, here's Brian Akers.
Hello, I'm Brian Akers. Here today with me is Jeff Akers. We're here to do our show, Winning in Retirement. Winning in Retirement is a show brought to you by Akers Financial Group. Jeff Akers is Vice President of Akers Financial Group. He has been working with me for over 20 years. Good morning, Jeff. How you doing today?
Good morning, Brian. You make it sound that way, but I'm still doing great, even after working with you for 20 years.
Well, it's been a blessing from my side, so I'm not sure what you're inferring, but what we want to do today is we want our clients, our listeners, our people of Maryland and around the world that listen to Winning in Retirement Radio, I want them to feel better about things. I want them to know a lot about what's going on. How are you feeling and doing this week?
I'm feeling pretty good. You mentioned the word blessing, and one of the blessings is an opportunity to meet with people, talk with them about their situation, help them figure out the right things to do financially. So that's what this week has been spent doing, meeting with people, talking with people. And the week started off kind of with a bang. Pfizer made an announcement, and then the stock market just really took off this week.
That's exactly right. That was on pre-market on Monday, November 9th. So that basically triggered some change into the concept that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that as we battle coronavirus throughout the winter, that things should get better over the next year or so when the vaccine is available for everyone out there. That should get better is no one knows the exact timing of it all. The key to the timing is that when you see the stock market rise, what we saw was some stocks that went up that have not gone up throughout this period of time. We've seen a lot of value stocks, dividend-paying stocks. A lot of the diversification we do actually had an extremely good week because of the fact of there is a light at the end of the tunnel, which is the long-term answer, and that's why diversification we think works very well long-term. The stay-at-home, work-at-home stocks did come back down a little, but not terribly bad. But this week is about the coronavirus, definitely not improving, but the vaccine should help improve it over the next year. But right now, it's getting worse in Maryland, and so our governor has been advising different things this week. So it's getting a little tougher, and hopefully we all can stay safe and healthy and do the right thing. The stock market itself is volatile. It's going to remain volatile with a pandemic. You have the market. And then we have an election that is coming towards a finality. I guess the hardest part there would be the market thinks Congress is going to be split with a Democratic president, a Congress split, and I think the market sees that as a good thing.
Yeah, the market kind of looks at that as not a whole lot's going to happen, and from a stability standpoint, the stock market kind of likes that sort of certainty. You mentioned volatility, and this week is kind of an example of why, though, because we had the really good news on Monday with Pfizer and the vaccine, but then as the week went on, we were talking about increased cases, and that kind of thing is going to go on for a while because the vaccine's not going to come out and be readily available, right away. They just had some good news about that. But that triggers hope in the market, and so, like you mentioned, some stocks like travel stocks that hadn't gone up for a long time went way up just on that news and that hope that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And then, like you mentioned with the election, it's not certified, it's not completely done yet, but the market does have its expectation about where that's going to go. And so that helps it to increase as it has a little bit this past week.
Yeah, it does, especially with the split Congress. I think that's a stock market stability piece. They like that. The thing is that it's not guaranteed to be a split Congress because there's a runoff in Georgia in January for the Senate. So there's a lot of political news. So when it comes to investments, there's the reality of economics, there's political, then there's just everything going on in our lives. And what happens right now is we have to do what's right for our families. Our show today is going to be about making life's biggest decisions. And our show is called Don't Make One of Life's Biggest Decisions Alone. Don't make one of life's biggest decisions alone. Your retirement plan. Should you roll over, stay put, or even withdraw your retirement plan? This is one of life's biggest decisions, and you should not make it alone. So during the show today, we're going to have 4 quarters. Our first quarter, we're going to explain retirement plan and some of the rules that are involved with tax-deferred retirement and how things work. In quarter number 2, we're going to go over a concept called rollover, where you can take your retirement plan and roll it over to an individual retirement plan. In the third quarter, we're going to talk about staying put. What if you stay put in your retirement plan at your work as you retire, or as you change jobs or leave and go different directions? Should you leave them at your past employers? We'll cover that in the third quarter. And then the fourth quarter, we're going to bring it all together with a crazy topic called, why don't you just withdraw your whole 401k plan? We'll talk about that concept and how there is a concept, an exception that might apply to someone out there listening, especially someone who might have a stock that has escalated greatly inside their 401k. So these are 4 of our topics during the 4 quarters today. We got a lot to do. We're going to have to do at the No Huddle Offense this show. So hold on tight to what's going on. The answer to the question is this. Give Acres Financial a call. For winning in retirement, you need to know everything we're talking about today, and what you're going to have is more questions. So give us a call at 833-946-7384, or go to our website at acresfinancialgroup.com. That's AKERS financialgroup.com. All right, Jeff, retirement planning, rollover, stay put, withdrawal. Let's get started. All right, Jeff, it is one of life's biggest decisions, right?
It's absolutely a huge decision. You might have worked somewhere for a really, really long time. You've built up a lot of money in a 401k, or if you work for the federal government, a TSP, or it could be a 403b. So you've got a lot of money in that plan. And you get a little bit later in life, you get close to retirement, and you're thinking, well, what do I do with this money? And it becomes a $1 million or more decision. And a lot of folks don't make decisions that big every day. It's a little like when you buy a house, you feel a little intimidated because you see the big numbers when you're signing for that mortgage. And so you don't want to go through that process alone. You want to make sure that you're doing the right thing. And it's good to have a coach. It's good to have some advice who knows the rules and can help you steer clear of certain pitfalls along the way.
All right, so what we're talking about today is there's going to be transition times in your life. That's where you might be changing a job on your choice, or you might be changing a job because it's not your choice. Your job might be cut. And what happens is you have been saving into a retirement plan at your job. That money is in an account that is growing tax deferred if it's a normal pre-tax retirement. And what happens is we need to invest that money wisely for your future, because this money is what will be your retirement income. And so what happens is there's a lot of things to think about before you make that decision on to roll out of a 401k plan. You need to make sure you're making the wisest decision for you and your family.
Years ago, almost everyone had a pension, and that's where your employer, or the government, if that wasn't your employer, was going to pay you a certain amount through retirement. Well, that all changed in the 80s. And instead of having pensions, they came out with these 401ks where we save for our own retirement. We take that responsibility on ourselves. And so it's important to make wise decisions with that money, because it is the money that's going to be the rest of your life money. It's going to have to help you those retirement years. And we want them to be successful retirement years. We want you to be winning in retirement. And so we want to make wise decisions with that money so it will last throughout that time frame.
Right. Part of that wise decision is there are some new regulations this year. Effective July 1st, there's a rule called best interest. The best interest rule is for financial advisors, stockbrokers. They are supposed to treat every conversation and transaction with you with your best interest in mind. Now, as financial advisors and planners, fiduciary has been a big word since day one with us. Fiduciary is where the client's best interest is number one. So what happens is this. With a new best interest rule, you should have the pros and the cons of rolling your 401k over, or your TSP over, your 403b, 457, any of those plans over to an IRA. You should know the advantage and disadvantages when it comes to doing this. And that's what this show is all about. Jeff, can you try to quickly explain those numbers I just said?
The numbers, which numbers?
401k, 403b. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So those are numbers from the tax code. So it's not numbers that you like add or subtract or multiply, and it's not going to be your age. Nobody makes it to 401 anymore. But those numbers are from the tax code. And so a 401k is established for a private business. A 403b tends to be for a nonprofit or a school or a hospital. It's the type of retirement plan that you have. And in that retirement plan, it's employer sponsored. So your employer acts as the fiduciary, says, here's the investments you can use. You put money into it. The employer might put money into it. And it's a good way to save for retirement. Usually it comes out pre-tax. Some plans have the option of doing a Roth contribution that comes out after tax. But the match that comes from the company will always be pre-tax money, which means it's going to be taxed later on when you take that out. So those are employer-sponsored plans. You only participate in them while you're working, and then when you leave that job, you might have the option to roll that money over or just cash it in or leave it there.
I didn't mean to confuse you with the numbers, and I'm glad you told everyone that we don't live to 401 anymore. Makes me think of Methuselah. I have a son named Noah, and you know who the grandfather of Noah was in the Bible? Methuselah.
I do not.
Methuselah, the oldest man in the biblical record. All right, so today's show is this. Don't make one of life's biggest decisions alone. Your retirement plan, should you roll over, stay put, or even withdraw? Now, at Acres Financial Group, we design winning in retirement for our clients and our listeners to be winning at all times in retirement. We're a local, we're an independent company. We don't report to a big company on Wall Street. We don't report to a company in New York. We report to you, the client. We have offices in Forest Hill and Lutherville. This is all about retirement, not about us at Acres Financial Group. To begin winning in retirement, you can give us a call. You can call us for a free meeting. That meeting can be done over the phone, over a virtual Zoom, and mask to mask, even though we're slowing down the number of those meetings now. So to begin winning in retirement, you give us a call at 833-WINRETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, you can leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule an appointment with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. Call 833-946-7384 or visit acresfinancialgroup.com. 5 questions you need to answer to make your rollover decision. We will go over those questions in a moment. Acres Financial Group was founded on the principles of integrity, trust, and service. We believe each and every client is unique and deserves advice and implementations that apply directly towards their personal financial fingerprint. This financial fingerprint tells us the objective risk tolerance and purpose of the investment and insurance tools that we use to assist our clients in reaching their goals. By discovering the purpose of each financial decision, we can help you accomplish your goals. Intelligent financial design starts with a detailed balance sheet and cash flow to know where to start. This leads to a financial decision that will allow you to reach your goals with your risk tolerance in mind. Our relationships begin with an initial consultation and grows with each meeting. We would be thrilled to work with you and begin your planning process. Call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-946-7384. Or visit our website at acresfinancial.com. Member FINRA SIPC.
Hi, this is Jesse Cunningham, the owner of Mountain View Insurance. and we are proud to be affiliated with Acres Financial Group. We, too, base our business on integrity, service, and acknowledge that every client's insurance needs are unique to their own situation. At Mountain View Insurance, we specialize in car insurance, home insurance, and umbrella coverages, all designed to protect your assets that you've worked so hard to earn. When serving our clients, we focus on creating a protection plan that is appropriate to your needs. After we determine the correct plan, we then go to shop for you. Mountain View Insurance is an independent insurance brokerage, and that means we have access to many top national and regional insurance carriers. Let us build an appropriate and affordable insurance plan for you, and give us a call directly at 410-262-3176. Once again, that's 410-262-3176. This is Jesse Cunningham, owner of Mountain View Insurance, and I look forward to hearing from you.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Hello, this is Brian Akers, and welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Here with me today is Jeff Akers, my cousin, my VP, and your certified financial planner practitioner, Jeff Akers. You ready to go here in the second quarter?
I'm ready to go. And just a quick note, Brian is a certified financial planner as well, and he has been for a really long time, coming up on 30 years, isn't it?
1991. So January of 1991, I was studying during Desert Storm at that time, getting ready for as I started my first company. So that was a different time back then. You used to take 6 CFP courses, and you did 2 at a time. And you had to have like 2 or 3 years experience too. So it's pretty cool by 23 years old to get that done. All right, so
Google any answers.
what was Google back then? I don't even know if that was an official word back in 1991. All right, but Alphabet was. So that's why we should switch to there. All right, so this show is don't make one of life's biggest decisions alone. And this topic, this quarter, the second quarter, is this. We have 5 questions you need to answer to help make the rollover decision. Before we dive into those questions, Jeff, what's a rollover?
Okay, so a rollover is you have money in one plan, like a 401k, and you want to move it out of that plan into a different plan. Could be another 401k, could be an IRA, and you don't want to pay tax on that transition. So that would be a direct rollover where it goes straight from one plan to another. You never touch it, and it's not taxable. That's the key. We want to avoid the tax when we do the rollover.
Now, company plans have something called a summary plan description, and they actually have rules for the company plans that you work, that when you're working, they have rules for that plan. Most of those plans, you can keep your money at the plan, even if you retire or change jobs, and they have to segregate it and report on it every year. So the 401ks, 403bs, any of these things have the ability to leave your money behind. And so when we're talking about rolling it out of a plan like that, we need to ask you a bunch of questions. We're going to focus on 5, but I'm going to give you some quick questions that we normally say. And that is, hello, what's your name? That's a good question. And we also start with the 401k, 403b, or whatever, simple IRA, whatever you want to call your retirement plan. How much is involved, meaning how much dollar amount? Because the dollar amount and the percentage of your net worth of that retirement plan is an extremely important decision when trying to allocate. Are you happy with the current plan investment choices or fee structure? Is that something that you're happy with? Many people are very disappointed with their retirement plan's choice on the low risk side. Typically, there's only one thing that's low risk, and that's their stable value or money market fund. And then there's also a big question that Jeff likes to cover, and that's the first of the big 5 we're going to cover. What is that, Jeff?
So what do you need the money for? What's it going to be used for? We always talk about purpose, whether it's retirement money or any other money that we're looking to invest. We want to know the purpose for that money because that's going to dictate how it should be invested.
Right. So when you put the why or the purpose behind money, that'll dictate time horizon, risk level, and drive down to a point of investment selection. So instead of having a product that's thrown at you and said, buy this, what you should do is start with what is you the person that has the retirement plan, what is your best decision to be made. Are you happy with what's going on? If not, what other choices are out there? And with an IRA, you can invest in truly any kind of investment that is out there that is approved. There are a few exceptions, but generally any kind of investment, from money market CDs to stocks and bonds and annuities, variable annuities, mutual funds, ETFs, lots of different choices out there. Even the ability to invest in some real estate if you properly design it. So in your retirement plan, you do need to know how you funded it. You also need to know the rules. Now, one big thing about the rule is what your age is. Now, why is age important in the rollover process, Jeff?
So a special rule that has to do with 401ks is if you are 55 and working for a company with a 401k, and then you leave that company after age 55, well, the money in that 401k you're allowed to take out before you reach the next magic number, which is 59 and a half. You're allowed to take money out between 55 and 59 and a half and not pay a penalty on it. Now, if you roll that money over to an IRA, then you lose that ability. So if we put these two together, the one about what's the purpose for the money, when are you going to need it, and how old are you, that can tell us that someone might be retiring at 55 or 56, and they're planning on using some money in their 401k to live on. That means we have to leave money in the 401k to provide that income.
All right, so if you come into Acres Financial Group and you want a second opinion or an opinion on what to do with your retirement plan, the first things we're going to do is talk about it. And we're going to ask questions about what's going on in your life. And then we're going to ask some nitty-gritty questions, and that is about the plan itself. In other words, does it have life insurance in it? Very few plans have life insurance in it, but if there's a rare plan that you do have it, you've got to make sure you understand that. You also have to understand the timing of what you want to do in life. It's so important. The IRA, if you do a direct rollover from a retirement plan direct to an IRA, what's great about that is not taxable at all. It goes straight from the custodian to the new IRA custodian, the trustee of the plan to the new custodian of the plan of the IRA. When you do that kind of direct rollover, what happens is that you'll get a 1099-R, but they'll put in a box saying that you did roll it over, and they'll put a code on your 1099-R that will come in January after you do something like this. Is there any other things that we try to cover that are very important when talking about the plan, Jeff?
Well, when you talk about the nitty-gritty things like that, we want to know if there's a loan in the plan, and if you have a loan out, because if you roll money over to an IRA, then that loan might become taxable income to you. So we just want to watch out for that. And then we want to know, Brian mentioned one earlier, is there company stock? Do you have the company you work for? Do you have stock in that plan? And has it appreciated a lot? Is there a large gain with it? And we'll talk more about that later on, but it's important to know because it's going to determine that should we stay or should we go with the money in your 401k.
Yes, so with a rollover, they're also knowing about, you were saying pre-tax, after-tax, and Roth. What's the difference in those categories if we had to explain it to a greater sense?
Okay, so I guess a simple explanation. Pre-tax is tax deferred. When you put money in, it came out of your paycheck before taxes. You didn't pay tax on it when you got the money to put in the plan. Roth and after-tax is money that you put into the plan and you pay tax on it. So it was after you paid tax, then the money goes in the plan. And then down the road on the Roth side, you get to take out the money tax-free in retirement on the money that's just pre-tax. So not Roth, not pre-tax, after-tax, but it's not Roth. That's money that even if you're not 59 and a half, you can take that out without a penalty before 59 and a half. So there's three distinct categories there. And so we have to know how much money falls into each of those categories in your plan.
And that's really good information there. Now, the word after tax many times means that you've overfunded beyond the contribution limits, or you put money in prior to like 1986. And so you build an after-tax bucket of money. And what happens after you finish your job, your work years, and they officially have you terminated on their system. And if you make a call to do a rollover, a direct rollover, what happens is they'll explain that you have some after-tax money, and you have a choice. That choice could mean give you a check, and that check's tax-free. It's money coming back to you. Or you can say to them, I don't want my after-tax money. I want it to go straight to a Roth IRA. We love the idea of taking after-tax money and sliding into a Roth IRA. That's not a bad idea. So when it comes to how you distribute your direct rollover, make sure you understand your choices and what to do.
That's right. If you roll that over to an IRA, then any growth after that is also tax-free. And that idea of tax-free growth is just a wonderful thing. Brian said we love it, and he can't say how much we love it. But we really do love that idea. Tax-free income is a really good piece to have as you go through retirement, because you're going to need the money. And taxes, right now, they're a little low. Likelihood is that they're going to go up over time.
Yeah, most likely taxes will go up. And taxes that go up means that you put money now and you're deferring at lower rates, and then in the future, if rates are higher, you're going to pull it out at higher rates. That's the opposite of what we've always been told about retirement plans. Pay tax in your highest earning years at the higher bracket, and then what happens when you retire, you'll be at a lower bracket. The only way to be at a lower bracket is to make less money. Is that truly your retirement plan, to make less money? Let alone tax brackets are probably going to be moving up. And as they move up, we're going to see the retirement taxation be very, very painful in the years to come. So you need to make decisions such as Roth IRA, Roth conversion. You got to do Roth contributions. You got to think about all these things. So a rollover is a way of moving money from a retirement plan. You need to know why you would do it, and you're also going to need to know why you shouldn't do it. All very, very important things.
Right. It's important to go back to purpose. What's the purpose for the money? And then what things can we take advantage of right now when it comes to the tax law, right? If you're between age 59 and a half and age 72, then that's kind of a sweet spot where you're not forced to do anything with the money, but you're allowed to do just about anything that you need to with the money during that time.
Yeah, so 5 questions real quick are, what do you need the money for? How much do you need and when? Make sure if your company has company stock in it, if your 401k has company stock in it, if you have money after tax or pre-tax or Roth. And you also need to know about your outstanding loan balance. And, of course, you need to know your options within the plan on the investment choices. All right, at Acres Financial Group, we want you to be winning in retirement. We want you to enjoy your retirement years, because the best part of retirement is actually getting your time back. You decide how to use it. Before retirement, your time is tied up with other commitments, mainly your job. A lot of that goes away. Your time is now consumed by things you want to do. To begin winning in retirement, call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, you can leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule an appointment with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. Call us at 833-946-7384 or visit acresfinancialgroup.com or go to our Facebook page. Should you stay or should you go? What I mean by this is, should your retirement money follow you out the door? The answer in a moment.
You are unique. Just as no two fingerprints are alike, each individual's financial situation is uniquely their own. That's why the Acres Financial Group's team of advisors begins each relationship with a proven process that identifies your financial fingerprint. We'll guide you through a series of steps designed to provide a complete and accurate snapshot of where you are right now. Everything we learn about your financial fingerprint will become part of a detailed financial plan created especially for you. We'll never give you a cookie-cutter proposal or suggest a one-size-fits-all portfolio. The financial plan takes you from where you are now to where you need to be. Begin by discovering your financial fingerprint right now by going to getmyfinancialfingerprint.com. That's getmyfinancialfingerprint.com.
Member FINRA SIPC.
Imagine you're retired. You wake up in the morning and you don't even know what day it is. Every day seems like a Saturday. You can sleep in, cook a nice full breakfast without thinking about morning traffic or work deadlines. The Saturday calmness you used to crave is now your everyday feeling. You're not worried about your retirement income or how your investments are doing. Your biggest decision that day is where you're going to drink that first cup of coffee. Is that the kind of retirement you want? If it is, then sit down and talk with the team at Acres Financial Group. They want to help you get there. They've been helping families in Maryland plan for retirement for over 30 years. Call to schedule your complimentary meeting at 833-WIN-RETIRE. The number again is 833-WIN-RETIRE. Start planning for your retirement now. Call 833-946-7384. Member FINRA SIPC.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers. Here with me today is Jeff Akers. We're certified financial planner practitioners from Akers Financial Group. Today's show is called Making One of Life's Biggest Decisions. You don't want to do it alone. So don't make one of life's biggest decisions alone. That's a very important thing when it comes to your retirement plan. You need to have someone to talk to about it, understand all the choices that are out there. We've covered our first quarter and second quarter. We're about explaining what a retirement plan is and and what a rollover is and the questions you need to go over in the rollover decision. This section is about this. Should you stay or should you go? What I mean by that is should your retirement money follow you out the door? So we have a lot of things to cover in the third quarter. Jeff's just come out of the locker room. Yes, Jeff played basketball at, I'm not going to say his height, but from North Hartford High School, so that was pretty cool. Sorry, Jeff Akers, should we stay or should we go? And you just came out of the locker room. Let's begin our talk for this quarter.
Yep, we're going to be kind of firing back and forth as we go here. So if you've got money in a plan, like a 401k at work, and you turn 59 and a half. Well, that might give you an opportunity to make a decision of, should my money stay in the plan or should I roll it over to an IRA? Because even if you're still working at 59 and a half, a lot of plans have what's called an in-service withdrawal rule. That means you're allowed to roll money over while you're still working, and you can keep contributing to your plan at the same time. So that gives you the benefit of having choices for part of the money that you roll over, as well as those continued contributions. So that happens at 59 and a half. Another time that you get to make this decision is if you separate from service, so you're not working there anymore. That might be your choice, or it might be their choice. But either way, if you don't work there anymore, you'll have a choice with your 401k or 403b or TSP about whether or not to leave it there or whether you want to roll it over to something else, to an IRA. So those are a couple of times where we get to make the choice, and it's important to get some advice on should I stay or should I go?
And the other choice that you really don't get to make, but your family does, is if you passed away with a retirement plan. Then what happens is you get to see the company's choices. You also get to see who the beneficiary was written in the plan. Make sure you know the beneficiary for your plan, who they are, so that that's written out, so that that beneficiary is who you want it to be. So make sure you design that properly. If you're still employed, Jeff was mentioning about at 59 and a half, the in-service withdrawal. Extremely important decisions you can make if it's wise for you. Basically, when we're talking about retirement, age matters. Age really matters. So if you're 59 and a half, that's a triggering point. And there's also this thing called RMD, which moved January of this year, 2020. It moved to 72 years old. So next year, in the year 2021, if you're doing an RMD, that money can't be rolled over. You would have to take your required minimum distribution from your 401k before it was rolled over. It's a touchy subject, but the idea is this. If you roll to an IRA after January 1st, what happens is the 401k is responsible for a distribution where you pay tax. So make sure you understand that on a rollover, and you don't try to just roll the whole thing over. If the whole thing rolls over, you could get caught with not taking the proper RMD out.
Yeah, there are some tricky rules with RMDs, like Brian mentioned. One other quick thing is, if you're past age 72 and still working, your plan might allow you to wait before you start taking RMDs. So that might be a reason to leave money in the plan, even though you're past the 59.5 where you have the opportunity to take money out. Now, something to be careful of, if you choose that you're going to roll money over, make sure that it's a direct rollover. You're rolling it over to your IRA, to another 401k, but it's going direct. You don't want the check made payable to you. If the check is made payable to you, then the plan has to withhold 20% in federal tax. And that withholding, you're not going to get back until you file your taxes the next year. So you don't want to make a mistake where you wanted to roll money over, they made the check payable to you and sent some money off to the IRS, and now you're stuck with part of the money that you can't get back into the IRA. There is a 60-day rule where you can take that check that was made payable to you and roll it into an IRA, but the money that went to the IRS, that's not in your bank account, so it's hard to write a check for that unless you just happen to have that kind of cash laying around to do. So be careful. We want to make sure that we're doing direct rollovers and we're not doing an indirect rollover. That is where it's made payable to you.
Yeah, the payable needs to be paid payable to your IRA custodian for the benefit of you with an IRA written after your name. Now, what happens is on a direct rollover, many of those are done over the phone, but nowadays they're allowed to be done on the web through the company's website, or they make you do and fill out the paper digitally on their website. If you check the wrong box, you could trigger the taxation of your IRA and all of it, and they withhold 20% federally as something a plan is required to do. So watch out for checking the wrong box. Do not check the wrong box. It can be a very expensive check mark.
Yes, it can. I heard a story one time. This wasn't someone that I knew personally, but someone had $1 million in a 401k, checked the wrong box, $200,000 went to the IRS, and they only had $800,000 then to do the rollover with. And so that meant that $200,000 was going to remain as taxable if they didn't have a way to put it back into an IRA. So make sure we're doing those direct transfers. Now, we've mentioned stuff about RMDs. This year, for 2020, because of the coronavirus, the CARES Act was passed, and the CARES Act waived all required distributions for this year. So Brian mentioned earlier, you can't roll over your RMD, except this year, because the RMD itself was waived. So you could roll over in 2020 the entire amount of your 401k without worrying about that required minimum distribution. Now, just because the RMD was waived doesn't mean that you can't take money out of your IRA or your 401k or whatever kind of plan. You can still take money out of it. And a couple of things that we've done this year, when it's an IRA, is we might do a conversion, convert that amount to a Roth IRA so that we're taking money while we're in these low tax brackets and we're putting it in something that's going to be tax-free to the future, and then that without any tax down the road when rates are likely to be higher. The second thing that we can do if you're over age 70.5 is send money to charities directly from your IRA, the qualified charitable distribution. And when you do that, that distribution doesn't show up as taxable income. So even though required distributions are waived, we're still allowed to do those couple of kinds of distributions from your retirement plans.
And that's a big deal. What I mean by that is the ability to take a charitable distribution from an IRA, especially with the new laws that have allowed for standard deduction to be so high, and we've lost the deductibility of our charity. Once we're 70.5, we can use IRA pre-tax money to pay our charity. That's not available through plans. It's only available through an individual retirement account. So make sure you know how that works and how you need to make sure you're doing the right thing. We need you to be very prepared when it comes to understanding your retirement money and how you want to use it. How you want to use it will dictate how you invest, whether you should keep the money in the plan or out of the plan. Also, investment design and fee structure. You need to know all those pieces when making these decisions of should you stay in the plan or should you go with something like a direct rollover. That is something that's extremely important and is a very big decision.
There are pros and cons because there are different rules for 401ks and employer-sponsored plans versus IRAs. For example, if you've got money in an IRA, you can convert that to a Roth IRA. We talked about conversions before. I also mentioned the qualified charitable distributions. You can't do that from an employer-sponsored plan. So if those are things that you want to take advantage of, then that's going to be an argument, a pro, for actually rolling money over to an IRA, and then you can take advantage of those kinds of things. Brian mentioned earlier if there's life insurance inside your retirement plan, well, you can't own life insurance in an IRA. That's one of the rules there. So that's going to be an argument for that piece might need to stay in the retirement plan, or we need to look at some other distribution options for that. So we have to know that there are different rules for 401ks and IRAs, and what is the best thing to do to take advantage of each of those rules.
An IRA gives you lots of choice, gives you some freedom. Between 59.5 and 72 now, there's a lot of freedom in that you're not required to make withdrawals. So when you're looking at your retirement plan and you look at the investment choices and you're like, wow, they have target date funds with very few choices for me. And there's really only one low risk choice, meaning a money market. And we need other choices. So you got to be careful with what you're trying to do. But the investment choices is one of the key reasons to consider an IRA rollover or moving retirement plans to an IRA. And you need to examine the choices that are out there and what fits you and your family within a financial plan. I think that is one key ingredient to understanding this decision.
And one other piece is that when you take money out of a 401k plan, a lot of times there's more red tape. Brian mentioned you might go online or you might make a phone call to initiate a rollover. It's gotten simpler over the years, but sometimes there's still paper that has to be signed. If you have money in an IRA, taking money out of it is simpler. Setting up your beneficiaries can be a little bit simpler because they don't have the same rules that the 401k type of plan does.
Right. And so one of the biggest pieces is that when you're thinking about making this decision, when you roll money out, typically that comes with an advisor who is going to make money off of that decision. They're also going to be your advocate. They're going to be your investment person, your insurance person. They're going to be there to guide you with decisions and calculations and help you manage the retirement plan to make your money last a lifetime. So the decisions of rollovers, or what should you stay or should you go, is all geared towards what's going on. What I mean by that is what's going on in your life. What is your financial fingerprint? Make sure you got that figured out. All right. In retirement, the biggest worry of your day should be where to drink your morning cup of coffee. Not worrying about the rollover rules or have you read the Safe Harbor Act. What you should do is this. Call Acres Financial Group. Build your retirement income and investment plan. It's not too late. We want to provide you with the best retirement possible. Begin by calling Acres Financial Group and schedule a free meeting by calling us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, you can leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule an appointment with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. Call 833-946-7384 or visit acresfinancialgroup.com. You have heard of IRA. Have you heard of NUA? It could really affect your retirement. Stay tuned for the fourth quarter, right after this.
Long before 18-year-old Brooks Robinson was signed to play third base, and years before Natty Boh began brewing at the corner of Conkling and O'Donnell Streets, Baltimore families relied on the Evans family and the Evans Funeral Chapel and Cremation Services to help them during some of their most important family moments. Hi, I'm Charlie Evans, and for 4 generations, my family and I have been there for families, providing care and compassion in their time of need. Evans Funeral Chapel and Cremation Services provides the best facility, staff, and personalized service for your family. We have 3 convenient locations to serve the community: Parkville, Forest Hill, and Hereford. For more information, visit us online at evansfuneralchapel.com or call 410-665-9444. Evans Funeral Chapel and Cremation Services, serving Baltimore families since 1865. I invite your confidence.
Acres Financial Group was founded on the principles of integrity, trust, and service. We believe each and every client is unique and deserves advice and implementations that apply directly towards their personal financial fingerprint. This financial fingerprint tells us the objective risk tolerance and purpose of the investment and insurance tools that we use to assist our clients in reaching their goals. By discovering the purpose of each financial decision, we can help you accomplish your goals. Intelligent financial design starts with a detailed balance sheet and cash flow to know where to start. This leads to a financial decision that will allow you to reach your goals with your risk tolerance in mind. Our relationships begin with an initial consultation and grows with each meeting. We would be thrilled to work with you and begin your planning process. Call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-946-7384. Or visit our website at acresfinancial.com. Member FINRA SIPC.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Hey, welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Akers from Financial Group, we invite you to go to our webpage at acresfinancialgroup.com. It's AKERS financialgroup.com. And when you go on that webpage, you'll see a bunch of tabs up top. One of them is our webinars, which we have webinars usually every 2 weeks on Thursdays. And then we have a library of past webinars right there on that site. And then a couple tabs over to the right would be the radio tab. The radio tab, what you'll find is information about our radio show, also a way to reach out to us to set up that free initial meeting. And you'll also be able to see past shows where you can click the button and then listen to a past show. This show, Don't Make One of Life's Biggest Decisions Alone, is something you might want to listen to over and over again. But we do invite you to come in and sit down with one of our team of advisors and go over your retirement planning decision. All right, so go to acresfinancial.com and check us out there. All right, this segment is this, Jeff. I asked this question. You have heard of IRA. Have you heard of NUA? It could really affect your retirement. So here we are in the fourth quarter, Jeff. What's your opinion, and can you try to explain what NUA and what that might mean?
NUA is net unrealized appreciation. So let's say you work for a big company. Here locally, there's McCormick. If you work for McCormick and maybe you get McCormick stock inside your 401k and you're buying that stock and it's growing, and over time, that can really be highly appreciated. You paid a little bit for it, your cost basis would be low in it, and now it's worth a lot more than that. And so NUA is a way that you can take money out of your 401k through a rollover, but that stock, instead of paying regular income tax on the now appreciated value, you pay regular income tax on the lower cost basis that you actually paid for it. And then once it's out, it's now in a regular brokerage account. And if you sell it, then you pay long-term capital gains tax on that instead of paying regular income tax. And capital gains taxes have an advantageous tax rate compared to regular income taxes. So it's a complex scenario, and there's a lot of rules that we have to jump through to make it work, but it can be a way to save tax money on the money that's inside your 401k.
All right, so NUA is a very complex answer, but it's for people who have been in a company plan a long time and where most of your money or all of your money went to the company stock. If that's your situation, we don't usually recommend this, that you keep all your money in your company stock. And so our fundamentals of financial planning, we don't like the concept like that, but if you're in a situation where that's what you've done, you have 100% of your money in that company stock and there's a large capital gain, this might be a tax law for you. And so that's something to research, and that could be one of the reasons to do a full withdrawal. Jeff, can you think of any other reasons that people should do a full withdrawal out of their retirement account?
Well, and to pay tax on it, that it doesn't happen very often, but sometimes folks need the money. They need the cash for something that's come up, some event that's happened. They just need that money. We really don't like paying the tax on a big chunk like that because that throws you into new tax brackets. But there may be circumstances where there's a need for that. Now, sometimes this gets away from NUA because this would be a small account with a 401k. Some plans say if the account balance doesn't meet a certain level, then you have to take the money out, and if you don't tell them what to do with it, they're going to send you a check for it. Now, that's a very small amount that's in a 401k, but that's a time where you either roll it over or they're going to send you the check anyway.
Yeah, I guess if we're considering a full withdrawal, we'd much rather you do a Roth conversion. A Roth conversion is you do pay the tax and pay at your bracket now, and it goes to a tax-free account. By doing that, you can get the basis, the amount of money you pay tax on, out at any time. But if you're Roth, once you convert it, your IRA over to a Roth IRA, once you have that money in a Roth, that conversion amount can come back to you anytime. The growth, you have to wait at least 5 years. Hopefully you've had a Roth at least 5 years to meet that rule. There are so many moving parts on these decisions. Let's sort of review what we've tried to cover today, Jeff. One is, our topic is don't make one of life's biggest decisions alone. So what's the main point there, Jeff?
If you got nothing out of listening today, I hope that you understand that these are complex decisions, a lot of moving parts, a lot of different rules, and it helps to have someone there to kind of coach you through those and figure out what's the best thing to do for you. Brian mentioned the word fiduciary earlier on. As a certified financial planner, Brian and I are fiduciaries. That's not just because of new rules that have come out in recent years. It's been something that we do and we practice for years, for a long time. So we want to make sure that we're doing the thing that's in your best interest, and we're going to be looking out for that as we navigate through all of these different rules and choices, and making sure that we've got what you need to take care of you.
And so what you can do is you can give Acres Financial a call. Yes, it's 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN for the win, like you're going to win the game, win the retirement years, retire. So that's our fancy phone number. You give us a call, and what we do is we sit down and talk. That talk is free. And we talk about these questions, talk about the concepts, the ideas. And then what happens is once we discover what you should do, stay in the retirement plan or go or within all these choices, you have to look at what's best for you. If you are actively working and younger, some people will roll it to the new employer. And the reason they'll do that is for the idea of a loan provision if they ever needed to borrow against it, especially when your balances are lower. This might make sense in your situation. Some people like to send it to, when they're young, they roll it out to an IRA so that we can do Roth conversion and get that money to Roth as soon as possible and let that money grow tax-free for the younger people for the rest of their life. We love Roth concepts. We think the rollover decision leads to the flexibility to do Roth conversions while you're in your 60s. There is a lot of things you can do with a Roth if you have your money rolled over, and we think that's a great thing to have that flexibility in your life.
Right, and Brian mentioned that when you come in and we sit down and we start talking, we ask a lot of questions. We actually went through some of those in the second quarter, some of the questions that we ask. So the first time you come in, we're not going to necessarily say, oh, this is what you should do. We're going to ask a bunch of questions. We want to figure out what your situation is, your financial fingerprint, and then figure out what's the best thing to do for you. So that first time that we get together, we're going to be asking questions and going through your situation and seeing what the options are, and then we can put together some ideas and meet again and go over what those options are, the pros and the cons, and how they affect you, your specific situation. You might have a friend at work that tells you, oh, this is what I did, and that's all well and good, but your situation is not the same as your friend at work. So let's figure out what's right for you and go down that path.
Many times in financial planning, we believe the answer is to take the least amount of risk to reach your goals, not the most amount of risk. If your retirement plan is 100% stock and you're real close to retirement, you need to put the brakes on. You need to diversify in a way where you have lower risk. You also will need your IRA or retirement plan to give you the ability for income. 401ks and plans like that are now allowed to provide annuity options where you can get payments. The thing is that most companies will pick one insurance company with one type of plan. And what happens is that it might not be the best thing for you. What you can do is you can shop those kind of plans among many different insurance companies to see who would provide the best example of income, the best guaranteed income over a lifetime. So you need to know there's lots of choices. A rollover gives you many choices, but there are many reasons to stay put. One of the biggest reasons to stay put is that sometimes the company pays all the fees, and it's nice when someone else is paying your fees for you. Now, when you go outside and you hire an advisor or buy an insurance product or invest in a different way, they're getting paid somehow through commission or fees. They're going to get paid that way. So you got to understand that that's part of the cost of having someone coach you in and through retirement years. So when it sounds too good to be true, understand that they are getting paid. But where the money comes from, does it come from the investment? Does it come from a company that they put it through? Those are all great questions that you need to ask when interviewing an advisor when it comes to the rollover plan decision.
Yeah, Brian was talking about pros and cons. The two biggest pros that I can think of for rolling over to an IRA, one is choice, because you have a choice of a lot of different options, and the second is personalized advice that's in your best interest. When you've got the money in the plan, Brian mentioned that the company might be picking up the fees for you. Well, the advisor that comes in to deal with the company is listening to the company. He's not coming necessarily and talking to the individual participant. So it's one of those things, who's looking out for your best interests? When you roll it over to an IRA and you have an advisor like someone at Acres Financial Group, then we have someone looking out for your best interest. It's that one-on-one relationship.
So this show is this: don't make one of life's biggest decisions alone. When it comes to your retirement plan, should you roll over, stay put, or even withdraw, there are different reasons, different answers for each and every person. We believe that your financial planning starts with your financial fingerprint. It also has a lot to do with this big decision in your financial life. So as we've talked through the show today, we did cover rollover, and we asked the questions you need, the things you need to consider before you do such a thing. Staying put, some of the advantages of staying put where you are. And even the possibility of some people might need to withdraw at all, and reasons behind that. Thank you very much, Jeff, for a good show. And we want all of you out there to really think about what's going on in your life. Have you been reacting in a defensive way? Are you acting like someone who's been sitting on a sofa that sort of gets sucked in and leaning back and back and back? What we want you to do is not to be reacting to what's going on in the markets and through the global pandemic. We want you to have a creating. I basically want you to be sitting forward. Someone that is going to take advantage of the opportunities given to them is someone that is thinking in a creative mode, in a solutions mode. It's a choice. We want you to make that choice to begin your retirement planning by calling Acres Financial Group. To schedule your free time with us, give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, you can leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule an appointment with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. Call 833-946-7384 or visit acresfinancial.com. Thank you for listening. I'm Brian Akers from Acres Financial Group, and we want you to be winning in retirement.
You've been listening to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers of Acres Financial Group. Brian Akers of Acres Financial Group is a registered representative offering securities through Kalos Capital Incorporated and investment advisory services through Kalos Management Incorporated. Acres Financial Group is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Kalos Capital or Kalos Management and does not provide tax and legal services. Advice given on Winning in Retirement is general in nature, and one should seek further advice from their financial advisor, broker, attorney, or tax accountant before investing. Be sure to read each prospectus carefully to understand all the risks associated with each investment.
The preceding was a paid program, and the views expressed on this show do not represent the views of WJZ-FM, Entercom Communications, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Are you reacting or creating with your investments? When you have a sound financial plan, you don't have to be reacting every day. Let us help you create. Tune in to Winning in Retirement, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 105.7 The Fan. Brian Akers of Acres Financial Group is a registered representative offering securities through Kalos Capital Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC, and investment advisory services offered through Kalos Management Incorporated, both located at 11525 Parkwood Circle, Alpharetta, Georgia, 30005 678 1100. Acres Financial Group is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Kalos Capital or Kalos Management and does not provide tax and legal services.
The home team has first and 10 in the closing minutes of the fourth quarter.
Are there times in some games you wish you could just turn on the TV at the 2-minute warning? Because that's the most important part of the game, right? As a fan, these are the most exciting moments. Your team could take home the victory or crumble under pressure. But when it comes to your retirement, don't wait until the last 2 minutes. So much can happen in the final working years before retirement. Whether you're in your 50s or 60s, near or already in retirement, there's still time to put a plan in place. Don't wait until right before you retire to begin planning for your future. Can you win the retirement game like that? Come in and talk with the team at Acres Financial Group. They've been helping families in Maryland plan for retirement for over 30 years. Call to schedule your complimentary meeting at 833-WIN-RETIRE. The number again is 833-WIN-RETIRE. Start planning for your retirement now. Call 833-946-7384. Member FINRA SIPC.
Broadcasting from the Thompson Creek Window Company studios. High-quality windows at an affordable price. Direct from their local factory. This is WJZ-FM Gainesville, Baltimore. 105.7 The Fan. A Radio.com sports station.